All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Red Cloud's 2022 Very Pre-PDAC Mining Showcase. My name is Timothy Lee, and I'm a mining analyst here at Red Cloud Securities. We are thrilled to host over 100 companies and 4 keynote speakers with you over the next 3 days. I would like to kick off today's itinerary and thank Petrography for sponsoring this session. We welcome Dale Ginn, Managing Director of Aston Minerals. He will speak to us about Aston's Edleston project, where it has a gold deposit and an exciting new nickel discovery in the Timmins area. Dale, you have 15 minutes, and then we'll have a 5-minute Q&A at the end of the session. And attendees, please feel free to ask questions using the Q&A link below. Take it away, Dale.
All right, thank you, Tim, and thanks to Red Cloud for hosting this event. I'd like to introduce Aston Minerals. Basically, as Tim said, we started as a gold explorer on a current deposit and morphed into a new nickel discovery as our exploration program went on. And yeah, just gonna try to. There we go. A little bit of disclaimer language, etc. Basically, location-wise, we're 60 kilometers to the south of Timmins. We've got year-round direct road access. Obviously, being that close to Timmins, we've got really good mining infrastructure, people, etc. As far as the property is concerned, it's got about close to 200 drill holes in terms of the gold exploration and discovery. There was a discovery made about 10 years ago, and it's called the Edleston gold deposit. But as I say, once drilling progressed over the last year and a half, we encountered some very interesting nickel values as we moved away from the gold deposit. And as I said, that's morphed into a new nickel discovery. So we have 2 drill rigs turning on the actual discovery now, and a third that's turning on the other part of the large target. We've got some petrography and initial metallurgical work underway, and a bunch of high quality geophysical programs to sort of hone in on from the sort of more general exploration that we've been doing. Corporately, it's ASX under the symbol ASO. There's just under, we're around about 15 cents currently, so $150 million market cap. Top shareholders are close to 50% as far as their holdings go. So for over the last year, basically, we've come up from about 3 cents to about 15 cents. We converted a large option grant. That was our last financing, so that was like over $9 million. There's 3 drill rigs going. Lots of geophysical work completed and underway. And I mean, most importantly, there was a pretty serious nickel discovery over the last few months. When we started with the gold exploration, we quickly got into some high grade with 1,400 grams over 1.5 meters near the Edleston deposit. And then there's kind of the usual stuff around being in a desirable place like Timmins. There's no environmental issues, etc. There's really good relations with the local communities. The property itself, so the blue in this map is sort of your nickel regime, and your gold is in red. So we started up in the top left-hand corner with the Edleston deposit and started moving to the east with our exploration. as we moved east away from the deposit, we encountered some broad mineralization and alterations, and that turned out to be nickel bearing. So then that led us to looking at the large ultramafic intrusion that's kind of shaped like a boomerang, as you see to the south of the gold regimes. And it led us to the Bardwell area, the southern part, where the initial discovery is made. And so the discovery hole, where that ended in mineralization, was 54 meters of just about 0.5% nickel, with a bit of cobalt, 0.015, I believe, percent. And then soon after, hole 76 drilled 164 meters of 0.52% nickel, with a little bit higher grades of cobalt in there as well. So very quickly, our attention turned to this large ultramafic intrusion. So this thing's around 6 kilometers long, longer if you consider the sort of extents of it at the intersections and whatnot. And very quickly, when you find nickel, people want to know right away what type of mineralogy is it recoverable, etc. And that initial work, both petrology and metallurgical, is underway as we speak. The interesting parts of the gold deposit is that as we moved through the sort of nickel regime eastward, we got into some new gold bearing zones at what we call Sorolla. And that's pretty much where we ended the gold drilling and moved down to the nickel. So we've got 3 drills on this large boomerang nickel deposit. As far as the nickel bearing structure goes, it's a magmatic sulfide scenario, ultramafic intrusion host. And as I said, it's shaped a bit like a boomerang here. The regimes are so far. This is and by the way, this is a magnetic susceptibility map, inverted. So basically, the whites are your high mag areas. So basically, this Bardwell area to the south is where we're focused. Initially, we put three drill pads as far as permitting goes, just to kind of test it over the really, really broad areas. So Bardwell, Alna to the northeast, and O'Loughlin to the north. And all of the areas that we tested encountered values. And as far as the north goes, we never did get through it. We got 730 meters of 0.23% nickel. But really the high grade so far has been down in the south and at the Bardwell. And now we've permitted the whole stretch. So and we're able to now to access the drilling from both east and west sides of the deposit. So we're busy covering that ground now. It does have some similarities to other deposits, geologically, structurally. So there's some similarities to Mount Keith, to Dumont, Jinchuan in China, and Norilsk in Russia. As far as a plan view goes of the immediate Bardwell discovery area, you're looking at drilling now over about a 300-meter strike so far. These are the initial holes from the initial pad at hole 76 and 59. So you've got 0.52 over some big widths, ending in a 0.66 over the last 18 meters of the hole. We encountered a fault that we didn't want to try to spend too much time to go through. And so that was drilling from the east side. And now that we've moved to the west side, we can hit both sides of this without worrying too much about that fault. If you go to the next slide here, it's a cross section. You can see the 3 holes from the initial pad on the right side. So you've got drill hole 76, which had 0.52% nickel and 0.16% cobalt over 164 meters. And that included 0.4, well, that was within, sorry, 0.43% nickel over 282 meters. So, you know, we're getting big widths, good grade, and that covers only about half of the structure as far as width goes. So now what we're doing is drilling from the left side, as you can see, so the west side, and drill hole number 80 encountered some very nice looking sulfide mineralization. We're waiting on assays for that. Drill hole 80 as well stepped out 130 meters to the south. So we're also busy establishing strike length as well as your width, etc. here. The northern part, so this is over 3 kilometers to the north. That was the drill pad there, and you know, we got some big widths, lower grades, but we did not get through the whole anomaly yet, and we're going to have to hit it from the other side of the anomaly eventually here. But yeah, I mean, 0.26 over 77 meters, 0.23 over 731 meters. So really, we don't know really if we've hit the best part of this. I mean, it's so big, and these are just the initial holes. Some encouraging news from our assaying, basically, when you compare the aqua regia, which dissolves all the sulfides, versus the total digestion in terms of the assaying, at now 93% that comes out in the partial digestion, the aqua regia. So that's a good indication that most of your nickel is within sulfides rather than silicates or alloys. The mineralization, though, that we have observed is basically we've got a range of disseminated to coarse, even semi-massive sulfide in smaller areas, but you know, we're seeing pentlandite, pyrrhotite, hazelwoodite, and millerite, all desirable sulfides as far as nickel goes. And in some of the higher grade holes, that ratio of partial to total was upwards of 95%. So good preliminary indications from assaying. These are the types of mineralization that we are seeing. So as far as the nickel goes, we're seeing sort of this blebby, coarse sulfide. We're seeing classic pentlandite, pyrrhotite intergrowth. You see that in some of the big mining camps as far as nickel goes. We get this disseminated sulfide. That'd be more comparable to Jinshuan, and the and millerite, which is very high tenor nickel component. So, and then as far as gold goes, up at the Edleston and area, you know, we get the coarse visible gold in veinlets, and even disseminated sulfides and massive sulfides as well. Looking more broadly in terms of the you know, property itself, it's close to 300 square kilometer property. We've added quite a lot from our initial option. We have numerous of these ultramafic, potentially nickel-bearing targets. There's a lot of interesting structure, such as in that horseshoe. But there's like the horseshoe, serpentine. Those areas actually have a little bit of historical drilling from say 30 to 50 years ago. All very shallow, but all bearing some interesting nickel values. And we're either, you know, the on or a splay of the Kirkland-Larder Fault. And that was the initial reason for, you know, looking for gold along that fault structure. But as I said, it led us to the Boomerang ultramafic intrusion, which is actually hosted on one of the regional northeasterly trending faults. And there's kind of a conjugate fault set, as you can see in this diagram. But yeah, numerous untested ultramafic targets yet. And we, as I said, first 3 drill pads testing nickel have run into it every 100%. So good start. And looking ahead, there's numerous drills that are in for assay. The assaying times have speeded up. Looks like we're starting to get into under a month, you know, from many months last year in terms of times at the assay lab. Boomerang is now being tested with 2, moving to 3 drills at the Bardwell discovery, and that is outlined over 300 meters of strike length so far. And we're basically stepping out in 100-meter spacings and fanning drill holes into the large Bardwell unit. There's a high-resolution VTEM survey that we're going to conduct here, try to hone in a bit on where the massive sulfide might be in embayments and whatnot. And probably one of the most important things people are waiting for is the initial petrography and metallurgical testing, which is already underway. Initially it looks good as far as what minerals have been identified in terms of the pentlandite, hazelwoodite, and the millerite, and less, you know, as far as the silicates and alloys are concerned. There seems to be little of that. And you know, there is a big part of the gold story that we have yet to announce and put together. Numerous holes are being awaited. However, we feel like we have enough information to begin the resource modeling of the actual Edleston deposit. So that is underway as well. So with that, I'll end it. And thanks for your attention, and I'll turn it over to Tim.
Great. Thank you very much, Dale. We'll now move over to the Q&A session here. We do have one kind of quick question. How big is the system now overall, and how does it compare to other nickel deposits out there?
So the Boomerang target is about, and that's an ultramafic intrusive, and it's nickel bearing wherever we've penetrated it so far with drilling. That and it's, you know, ranges from kind of 150 meters wide to upwards of 700 meters wide, close to 1 kilometer wide in places. And as far as what it compares to, it's got similarities structurally, being along a regional fault and having sort of regions of higher grade and whatnot. That compares well to Norilsk. The Ginn has a nice structural feature similar to ours as well, and similar mineralogy. The host dunites and peridotites are similar to the Dumont north of Timmins. And kind of grade-wise, Mount Keith, perhaps. So there's similarities to a few different nickel deposits that people would know.
Great. Well, thank you again, Dale Ginn from Aston Minerals. And thank you everyone out there for joining us today.